Hello and welcome to the rainy day, mellow, no one has energy except maybe Jordan episode.
Oh my gosh, welcome to the slashGROUP podcast!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the slashGROUP podcast. We don't have a ton of, gaming
so many stories,
news or as many E3 things to talk about like we have, but we do have some stuff to talk about. I know Jesse and I are kind of in mellow moods. I blame the rainy weather, but whatever.
Happens.
But we're gonna power through it, and we're gonna try to keep you entertained. Hopefully we can succeed. Oh God, what's happening? You guys can't hear it, but I can. They're screaming. Okay, there we go. There's an ad that popped up on my on my web browser because I've been poking through news articles. Some sort of war game. So yeah, I guess let's get started. The first thing I know we are going to talk about is the announcement of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic, aka the SNES Classic, aka Nintendo's second cash grab of the year.
Yay, cash grabs.
So if you didn't know, Nintendo just announced that they are indeed releasing their next foray into the basically emulator box.
More or less a hookup emulator.
Yeah, with a 5-foot controller.
Yeah, they
2 feet longer than the
controller
last one.
cables will be longer. Yeah. So last year they released the NES Classic, and now coming up in a couple months here, they'll be releasing the SNES Classic with a whole 21 games for you to play. Which doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not.
They're really good games, though.
They're solid games. Some noteworthy ones are Earthbound and Legend of Mana, and
there's just something about Star Fox.
The
there's some kind
big
of collector
thing, it's not a collector. It's they are putting Star Fox 2 on it, which is the first time it will have ever been released because they made it, or at least they made most of it, I think.
It was 90%,
and then they never released it.
From what I read.
Yeah,
so
they're
done.
Pretty much done, and then what was that? Jesse?
I thought there was versions of it, and it became a collector's item because it wasn't it wasn't done all the way or whatever.
There were demo cartridges and stuff, or test cartridges that were obviously created because they needed to test the game, but it was never released to the public. So
they didn't release it because the
interesting.
N64 was just about to release, it was around that window.
Yeah.
So they wanted to develop the 64 version instead, which I think worked out in their favor. But
I suppose.
I mean, I've also heard that out of all the games on that list, Star Fox 2 is probably the worst one on there. So it's yeah.
Of course, they have shit. I should have kept that list open. I was actually just looking at it earlier. Legend of Mana is crazy good. And then
so you have Contra 3, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, which is pretty good. Final Fantasy 6, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2, Super Castlevania 4, Ghouls and Ghosts, Mario Kart, Mario RPG, Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Yoshi's Island.
Yay!
That's a hell of a good deal. The only game that I thought was going to make that list that isn't on there, which I guess Final Fantasy 6 being on there is pretty good, but is Chrono Trigger. I would have expected that.
Yeah, well, Secret of Mana, I guess maybe they didn't want to...
But Secret of Mana is an RPG. Oh no, Chrono Trigger. I'm thinking of a different game. Thinking of a completely different game.
That's what I was going to say. Is that it is that sort of.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but I mean, they're both RPGs. They're both similar.
I mean, they have Super Mario RPG, Secret of Mana, and Final Fantasy VI. Those are pretty good RPGs on there, but
plus Earthbound.
Yeah, and Earthbound as well.
Yeah, so I think that maybe they just didn't want to overcrowd it with RPGs. I don't know, but you know, it's very interesting. Did you say the price point of it yet?
$60.
Is it 60? Because I heard it was 80.
Oh, $79.99. It actually, that's what the website says in the U.S. I just assumed it was the same price of the NES, but I guess they are upping the ante.
It's 12 games total? Or no, 21 games.
21.
21 games for $80.
But yeah, that extra 2 feet per cord is what's bringing up the price.
Pricey. I think Nintendo is once again playing the supply-demand market type thing. Because here's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. There's going to be people that will buy, 2 or 3 of these, or they'll try to anyways,
on eBay.
and sell them for $1,000. Something outrageous.
But yeah, it happens with everything. Like anything,
they're only going to make so many, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't make any more," and it's like, "Oh, all right, well, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of people that would like to buy this. Oh, well, we only made a couple. Sorry."
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it with like literally everything. Like another example is Amiibos. They just on the 23rd they released their next batch of Zelda Amiibo. They had a Majora's Mask one where Link has like the Goron mask in his hand, and a Skyward Sword one, and a Twilight Princess one ? Exclamation point. I'm pretty sure that's the case, and they're like gone. They were sold out like so fast, especially the Majora's Mask one, because that one actually gives you something cool in the game. You can use them in Breath of the Wild, and it gets you like a Fierce Deity outfit, which is pretty dope. And oh my god, why is everything so loud? All the vehicles.
Actually, I do remember another story I can talk about. I did just remember that. Sorry.
Did you want to? I know we haven't really been we haven't been talking about the SNES Classic a lot. I will say that I have a very strong suspicion that you're right, Jordan, and it's going to sell out almost immediately. Yep. And they'll be like, "Oh, more are coming, don't worry," and then they don't come, or if they do, they like trickle in like one at a time for a couple months, and they go, "Oh, okay, no more, sorry," because that's exactly what they did with the NES Mini. And
so when do you think it was? I don't remember the exact time frame, but when was it exactly? You think the NES Classic had like they stopped selling them? Like, was that?
What do you mean they stopped
producing?
Like they just didn't have them anymore?
Yeah, because what are they? I guess you're right. Like I guess they're technically still selling them, but
they're technically
are there any out there?
You can't find them. Like I remember,
I don't think they're producing them anymore.
I went to they stopped manufacturing them months ago.
Yep.
But like I remember going to Best Buy, shortly after the Switch came out, I want to say, or maybe right before the Switch came out, and they had just got a batch of the cord extenders in, and like they literally like the employee was like, "Hey, do you want to buy some of these?" And I was like, I didn't even get a console. He's like, "Yeah, but you can sell them for like double the price online." And I was like, "No, like I'm not gonna feed into that." Like I definitely don't want to feed into that.
There's people. Like, actually, I'm gonna.
I'm the person that like got ripped off because like I didn't get a pre-order in because I was like, oh yeah, who's gonna want to really buy this? Or Nintendo's definitely gonna make a bunch of these because it's just so easy to produce and it doesn't cost them anything to make the games or anything. So I was like, there's gonna be tons of them available, and I got kind of screwed over in that sense. And I never saw one after they launched. So I still haven't even seen one in person yet. Like no one I know has one.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's going to be a pretty similar case with the SNES because they're still doing similar things with the Amiibo, even though they've been saying they were going to get better with them, which they did for some of the amiibo lines. Like, they made way too many Animal Crossing amiibo. Either that or like no one wanted to buy them because you could have like they went on sale. I got a 3-pack with the alpaca siblings or whatever. I don't know if they're related or if they're married, but and KK Slider. It was like a 3-pack. Was originally like $35.99, and Best Buy had it on sale for $4.99. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'll get that now, like a year later.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the top one right here, $250 for the NES Classic. This guy's trying to sell it on eBay.
Yeah, people are still trying to sell them.
That's for that one. Yeah, this one's $289.
I saw an open one on Craigslist the other day because I was actually just curious. I was looking on Craigslist to see if they were any cheaper. This is like right after they announced the SNES, and people were selling used ones for like $150. It's like, really? It's not even new.
This guy is selling factory sealed a vendor case of 6 for $3,500.
Yeah.
So, I mean, power to you if you can sell that. Like, wow, that's great, good job. But
yeah.
The average consumer is not going to buy that.
No.
This is for the crazy collectors that will go and get those things.
Or the people that want to try to sell it for even more.
Or that, I guess, yeah. That's true.
Because if Nintendo really does never make any more of those things, they're probably going to be one of the most expensive Nintendo things that you can buy.
But, like...
That was like a retail, like, thing.
It's a plug-and-play thing.
What was that?
I get that it's a plug-and-play thing. Like, I understand the appeal of it, and of course it has the like, exact model controller, from back in the day. But...
Yeah.
Isn't the virtual console... That's a thing on all the platforms that Nintendo has.
They don't have, like, all the games on the virtual console.
Well, okay, so then... I guess I should say, what is a game... I'm going to use the Wii only because I actually used that virtual console, but I assume it's the same virtual console for the Wii U, and they're branching it onto the Switch? It's not quite there yet, right?
It's not quite there. There are definitely, like, games that exist on one virtual console and not on another.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was, like, the same...
Yeah, it's kind
especially between the 3DS and, like, the home consoles.
Huh.
Which I guess that makes more sense because then you have like a handheld virtual console and then your console virtual console.
Oh well, yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. But so using the Wii Virtual Console, which is the one that I use, that one in my mind that would have the biggest library, right? Because it was out the longest.
I mean, sure. I don't know. I don't use the virtual console.
I know for a fact I could get Super. Let's see from the list of games. I could get Super Metroid from that. I could get the Mario RPG, Mario, Super Mario World. I don't know if you could get Secret of Mana or not. I feel like you would be able to. I feel like I could just look that up. But so you can get a bunch of these games already on Virtual Console if you have, and what you could go to the store and get a Wii for, let's see here, just for looking up. Say GameStop has the Wii going for a total of, which by the way I'm looking at a refurbished Wii, $70.
Yeah.
So.
That's already the cost of the SNES Classic.
That's pretty much already the cost of the SNES. You're right. However, taking into account, I guess you would have to buy the games. So
still, you'd have to buy 21 games, probably $5 to $10 a pop.
But this is assuming that you don't have one, I guess. If you don't have a Wii or whatever, a console that can do their digital library.
It's still a solid deal. Like,
I guess it's still a solid deal, but
because
if you already have
the Wii, yeah, I mean,
if you already have it, then
if they have all those games,
spending chump
the other
thing
I would say is you could probably, not with all the games, but some of those games you can find used for, I mean, definitely not 21 of them for $70, You can find old physical copies if you have like the old consoles still. Like I have the old consoles. I don't have all those games because story time. So when I went to college, my mom sold like all of my old consoles and stuff at a yard sale and all of my games and stuff.
And Derek cried for many days.
Without asking me, yes, and I cried for what feels like an eternity because I am still slowly crying inside. But yeah, she sold everything on me. My Super Nintendo, my Virtual Boy, my N64, like everything. The only thing she didn't sell were some of my Game Boys because those were like tucked away in something that wasn't labeled like video games. They were like in a drawer of like a old case or old like drawer thing that I had. Anyway, so throughout college / after college, I've been slowly like plucking away at buying stuff back. So I have all the consoles again, and I have a bunch of games, but I definitely don't have all those games. Like Secret of Mana is fucking expensive. Let's see, Secret of Mana, SNES, eBay. Let's see. Actually, that's not that bad. Still, like $90 is like a lot for a SNES game. This one says 30, which I don't believe. For 1 minute, I don't believe that's real. And then like Earthbound, fucking forget it. Let's see. Yeah. $155, $278, $186. Like, you can find like the cheap, not cheap, but you can find like the
Are those mint or are those like
fake ones?
Or are those used?
What was that? These are used. Like the one that's complete in box is $800.
Yeah.
These are like used, potentially knockoff.
that was the Secret of Mana that you were looking up?
This is Earthbound. That's like in the hundreds. Secret of Mana is like pretty close to 100.
So I'm just looking this up on
like Donkey Kong and Super Metroid and stuff. You can get for much cheaper than that.
That's weird. That's really odd.
Mm.
So
what?
I can look up all the details online on Nintendo's site for their virtual console stuff, but it doesn't say the price.
Yeah.
I think it varies between each
weird.
virtual console, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
This one Nintendo is saying it works for the Wii. This game also works on the Wii U.
Yeah. But it's probably a different price for some reason.
That's just odd that it would... Why would they charge a different price for the same exact game, though?
Because they're Nintendo.
Because the Wii U is better. And there's more that needs to go into making a Wii U game than a Wii game. Obviously.
So here's my problem with this system is...
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about virtual console and all that. Like, it kind of gets to a point of like, okay, how many times are you going to want me to pay for the same game? Over and over again. Because every system that comes out now, a new virtual console comes out, and I'm like, it's great that I have access to this, but now if I want to transfer games, like I can't do that. So if I want to play any of the older stuff I bought, I have to plug in my old console, and I don't want to plug in my Wii or Wii U. I want to be able to just transfer all that shit from that over to my Switch using my account, which they should be doing. So,
Nintendo would get lots of brownie points if they did that. They would be potentially the best backwards capability, console on there. I'd say right now, Xbox is probably winning that market. Just because
once their Xbox One X comes out, they're definitely winning that market.
Mm-hmm.
You can play, the 360 games, or most of them, on your Xbox One right now, if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, the Xbox One X is going all the way back to the original.
Then you can play the Xbox games on that as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So I thought that I saw that it would be going to the S as well, Xbox One S, which is already out. I want to say I thought I saw that it was for the X and the S.
I don't know how they would. Cause I feel like that's a hardware thing, not a software thing. But it could be. I'm not going to pretend to know how consoles are made. But,
I think it's just a matter of the way that it reads the disc more than anything. No,
but
or
I
the
feel
way
like
that
that
it
would be like a
recognizes
hardware. I feel like that would be like a hardware thing.
It's just an emulator. That's
I don't know.
basically what it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Needs to the console needs to be able to emulate the old console.
Yep.
Moving on to another old console becoming a new, being reborn, finding their faith again, making their way into the mainstream. Other things is the Sega Forever thing that you guys know more about than me.
That's about all I know about it.
Because you guys actually read about it. I just looked at pictures.
So it's basically, it looks as it is right now. It looks like it's just going to be going to iPhones. For right now, I don't know if that's confirmed only for iPhones. That kind of suck. That'd be missing out on an entire market. But
well, guess who has an iPhone and is gonna check this little shindig out?
I think you can actually check it out right now because I think it's got 4 games on there right now.
Sega Forever.
Kid Chameleon, Altered Beast, Phantasy Star 2, and Comic Zone. So there are ads. It is ad supported,
just like
free to play.
It's not really an app. It looks like it's just like they're putting these games on mobile.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be like an app called Sega Forever that let you play these games, but it looks like it's just they're putting these games on mobile for free with ad support. So
yeah, what it seems like is they're basically
Crazy Taxi.
They're just doing like emulate. I don't think that one's out yet.
Yep.
All I'm reading is
yeah.
I don't know if it's been out. It might have been out. Maybe
that was already out.
I'm looking at it on my phone.
The ones, as far as the ones that they've just released, Kid Chameleon, Altered Beast, Comic Zone, and Phantasy Star 2. So the thing with this is they're going to be doing Sega Genesis. They're going to be doing Sega CD. They're going to be doing Dreamcast. And
I hear thunder.
I believe they're going to be doing the Pocket. What was that called? Game Gear? I think it was Game Gear. Was their handheld game.
Right.
New games every month, it says.
Yes, that's their plan. They're rolling out, hundreds and hundreds of games, whatever, that are going to be free to play, but there's going to be pop-up advertisements
of games
that show up between levels and after deaths, or before you start the game. Yeah. So it's not terrible, I guess.
It's probably going to be one of those things, though, where it's like, if you've never played it, sure, give it a try. But I'm so afraid to see how those things control, because using an iPhone or an iPad, even as a controller, I like playing Chrono Trigger through that was a fucking nightmare.
I can tell you that Robin has Sonic on her phone, and we had like a bunch of time to waste on Saturday, and because we had gone to a wedding, and for whatever reason they had 4 hours between the wedding and the reception, so we had to kill 4 hours in like the middle of nowhere, Maine.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we were sitting in the car at one point, like munching on snacks, and she pulled Sonic out on her phone, and it looked like fucking garbage to control. And I was watching her play.
Oh.
I was like, oh my god, Robin, you're either really bad or that's really hard to control. And she just glared at me, so I'm going to go with hard to control.
Sonic isn't one of the games that they've released yet, so I'm going to go ahead and say that possibly it was an emulator.
No, they've released it. It's been out. Sonic's been out for a long time, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not part of the Sega Forever Classic Games collection.
Sega's definitely been putting games out in app form for a while.
Yeah,
but I think the Sega Forever
money
thing.
Somehow.
Yeah, I feel like the Sega Forever thing is just going to be their big push for it, because I'm on their page right now on the App Store. I see, at least for old games, I'm not going to read ones that... Actually, I'll just read through all of them because I don't know what... Sonic Dash isn't an old one, but Sonic the Hedgehog, Crazy Taxi, City Rush, Sonic CD, Crazy Taxi, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Comic Zone, Kid Chameleon, Crazy Taxi, Gazillionaire, Altered Beast, Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
Wait, Sonic 4 is going to be on there?
Phantasy Star 2. I see it right now. You have to buy that one, though.
Really?
Phantasy Star 2.
Because 4 was recent.
Those are all bought ones, so... Yeah, they have, like, episodes, so you buy them. You buy each episode. Anyway, yeah, so I feel like the Sega Forever thing is just going to be, like, a bigger push on the apps, because they've definitely put out old Sonic games and stuff in the past.
It's just really interesting where we're at with old video games as a whole. Where, you know, you have a couple of consoles out there that are, you know, kind of embracing the backwards capability market. And then we're also seeing, you know, Sony's route with the PlayStation Now, which is a subscription service to backwards compatibility. You got GameFly does game streaming.
Yeah.
And, you know, then we have, you know, things like the SNES Classic, the NES Classic, and even this with Sega's Forever program that, you know, did anyone call, you know, like 20 years ago plus, like, hey, I can't wait to play this 20 years from now. Like, it makes me feel kind of bad, because it feels a little bit like, but what, like, do you guys have any new ideas? Like, oh man, yeah, the classics. Some of these have aged well.
It's just
some of them.
It's a way for companies to, like, relish in the past / make
play
some
on that
money
nostalgia.
Play on nostalgia and make some money on something they don't really have to pay for. Like, they have to pay someone to port the game to the phone or whatever, or to make the, you know, NES Classic, but they don't have to pay for much in the sense of, like, creating the game. Like, I'm sure, like, the people who made the NES were, like, a bunch of Nintendo interns. The NES Classic, at least. The thing that came out last year. Because really, all it was I've seen pictures of, like, how it works. It had, like, a main menu where you select the games from, and then you played the game, and it was an emulator. Like, there's nothing special about it. Other than it looking nice on like a HD TV.
Yeah.
And not like garbage. Like when you plug in an old NES to your 4K TV, it's not the greatest looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like. I'm more of the. I want to see new ideas and IPs and stuff like that, but I feel like there's been so many, like, especially with this generation, there's been so many things that are just like, we're gonna port stuff from the PS3 to the PS4. Okay.
Like reboots and remasters.
Yeah, there's been a lot of reboots and remasters, which, I mean, I'm not complaining about. Like, I'm not complaining about stuff that I haven't played yet, which, I mean, it's like the Kingdom Hearts stuff. I haven't played that since, like, PS2. Or like Shadow of the Colossus. Like, I didn't get a chance to play that because I didn't have a PS3. So like that stuff, like, it's cool for specific people, I think. But I want to see them. A lot of people start going the route of, like, the reimagining stuff. So, like, the Crash Bandicoot is like kind of along those lines, where it's not
they completely redid the whole game.
Yeah, they built the game from the ground up. They had the blueprints, but they had to do everything else. And I'm excited for that because to me, it's not a port. Like, it's gonna handle better and it's gonna run better and look better too.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, when that finally gets released in 15 years, like, that'll be an amazing experience for me because I never played it, and so I have nothing. I know, like, the big twist because that's, like, the big, like, by now you have to know it because that's, like, a big thing.
I never actually beat Final Fantasy VII. I used to play the shit out of it on my friend's PlayStation, but because it was my friend's, like, I never got to play like from beginning to end. I'd play like random shit. Like,
hey man, can we hang out? I need to play Final Fantasy VII at your house.
Yeah, and like we were kids. I don't know how old I was exactly, but I don't remember beating many games back then. Like I beat Ocarina of Time, and I beat Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I beat I don't even know, like a lot of the game, like Smash Bros. You couldn't really beat. I mean, I unlocked all the characters and stuff if you even had to do that, which I don't think you did.
Yeah,
but I beat Master Hand.
Well, I mean, by that regard, you could just not play the game at all, and then you'd beat it.
Yeah. I don't think you had to. You definitely didn't have to unlock characters in the original Smash Bros.
Right. Yeah, there was hidden characters.
Yeah, there was.
Was there?
There was Ness, Luigi.
Yeah. I can't remember. Oh, right.
I think Captain Falcon.
Yeah, so I definitely beat it then, and I unlocked all those. Yeah. I couldn't remember. It's been a while.
Real quick, Jordan. Is it raining out right now?
Hold on.
Because I'm downstairs and I realize my windows are open upstairs and I hear thunder.
It's barely drizzling, I think, but it was pouring before.
Oh, it's raining pretty hard here.
Cool.
I think the worst of it is actually past. I was curious if power would go out. It flickered yesterday, which was really weird.
Yeah, I got that too. Well, I guess it's too late to shut my windows.
Yeah. Good job, Jesse. I have a question while we're on like the topic of nostalgia, and because we don't have much to talk about.
I do have one more thing to talk about.
All right, well, let's pause it.
We can plug through this though. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any like memories of either like having to do something ridiculous or like chores wise, or like having to like make new friends, or like just something like out of the ordinary to like play a game when you were younger? I don't know what made me think of this, but like for example, I can give you an example. So when I was in elementary school, Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby were coming out. I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade, I can't remember. And my mom had this giant jar of change in her bedroom. And like a massive jar, and it was like completely full. And when she would shower in the morning, I remember sneaking in and like taking a couple quarters out of it and like stashing them in my room. And then also the guy she was dating at the time, I think he like worked for Pepsi or something, and he brought home like more or less a pallet of Pepsi Blues when those came out. And I would take like 2 bottles of those to school and sell them for like $2 a piece.
Oh jeez.
And I basically did that until I had like $40. And then I remember going to the grocery store with my mom, because obviously I couldn't drive, and I went to the change machine with like my bag of quarters and like cashed them in for money, like ran away from my mom, cashed them in, and like she caught me. She was like, "Derek, where'd you get all the quarters from? Like, how'd you get all this money?" And I was like, "Well," and she's like, "I know that you took money out of my thing." And I was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Where'd you get the rest of it from?" And I was like, "Well, I've been selling the Pepsis that name not needed." Oh. No, the guy's name. I was like, I've been selling the Pepsis that he brought home from work for like a couple bucks at school. And she like freaked out. I was obviously stealing. Like I was stealing from both of them to make money. I mean, I was a kid. All I cared about was that this new Pokemon game was coming out, and I desperately wanted it. So she let me buy it, but I had to do chores for like ever to like work off the money. I mean, I did chores anyway, but I had to do extra ones. So that's kind of like what I was thinking in my head, like of something, you know, definitely not cool, but like kind of smart at the same time for me to get a game that I wanted.
Yeah, on that note, no, just my everyday average. If you have to do your homework first before you play,
Yeah,
so.
that was a big thing. And I remember my friend, he couldn't play video games in the morning or before dinner. Because I remember one day, like I would go over his house in the morning before school because we'd walk to school together, again, elementary school, and he had gotten, I want to say, Pokemon Stadium 2 or Pokemon Snap or something. It was a Pokemon game again, and so I went over in the morning. I was like, "Oh my god, you gotta show me that game!" And we like snuck into the room that the Nintendo 64 was in, and we started playing it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" And his mom came barging in. I was like, "Get your asses to school! Like, you're gonna become nothing if you play video games all the time. You know my rules, blah blah blah." Yeah. So that was another one of those instances, but yeah, I don't know. I guess talking about all these nostalgic games kind of got me thinking about nostalgia and just like things that, you know, people our age used to have to go through to get games, because I feel like now, like,
I won't lie, I'm pretty sure that nothing like that happened for my youngest brother, in regards with like, oh hey, make sure you do all your homework before you play. It was you're home, all right. That's it.
Good. So, you made it home alive.
Do whatever. I guess, you know, that's cool. And so
that's how it was with my sister, my younger sister too. Like, we have a pretty big age gap. We have 6 years between us, and as you guys know, and she just had a way more lax time growing up. Like,
me too.
It was just not even close in like the discipline and stuff like that.
We were the guinea pigs,
but
that's basically what
we were like, and I feel like just like my mom, like growing up single, my mom was just like, again, I have to do this again. Like, you know, just fucking do it. Like, just stop bothering me.
Yeah. I remember when I was growing up, like I had every week I would get $5 for allowance or whatever, because I would just have to do chores and everything around the house.
Yeah, I think I got like $5 as well.
Yeah. And so, you know, I would save up for whatever game I wanted, and then I could go and buy it. I did actually rent a lot of games.
Yeah, I rented too.
So, which was nice, because I think a lot of the stuff that I would have now bought back then, if I had the money to do it, I probably would have liked to have rented instead. So it was nice to do that. But I remember, like back when I was younger, I would have like an hour a day to play. Like, that was my limit.
Yeah.
Which I frequently broke.
I don't remember if I had a limit. It was just like I had to be done my homework, and it couldn't like interfere with whatever, like dinner or bedtime or whatever. So if I could like blast through my homework after school, which I usually did, I could play for a couple hours.
Yeah. Man, it is noisy out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, another rolling bit of thunder just went through.
Yeah, I hear a little bit too outside. Speaking of like allowances, I just like another story is, you know, this is also like the same time like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon were pretty big. And by pretty big, I mean like massively popular.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, recent years maybe a little less, but
yeah, like our elementary school had to ban Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh and any trading cards because kids were getting into fights over them. Like,
same.
The only fight I've ever been in ever at school was because of Pokemon cards. So, that's a story for another time. The story I was going to say was. Yes, I won the fight. Fuck it, I'll tell it. So I was trading my Charizard, and this hurts me to think. I was trading my Charizard for like an Arcanine and a Ninetales and like something else, because Charizard was like the coolest one, right? And I had two of them.
Was it foil?
So I was like, oh man.
Was it a foil one? Okay.
Yeah. So the one that's worth like a ton of money now, yeah. So I traded one for all these cards. And he's like, yeah, I have like these 3 foils that I'll trade you for it. I was like, okay. And like I said, it was like Arcanine, Ninetales, and I can't remember the third one because it was one I didn't really care about, like Chansey or something like that. And so he traded them to me, and like they were like in awful condition. And I've always been pretty anal about like keeping cards and stuff like that pretty in really good condition. And I freaked out. I was like, you gave me that Charizard back, you're gonna destroy it, like I don't even want these awful cards. And he like ran away, and I chased him. And neither of you went to Fairgrounds Elementary, right?
No, I was new.
Elementary, no. Middle school, yeah.
So there was like this, where the gym connected to like the main school, there was like this like pocket in the building, so you could kind of like hide from people. And I remember he like ran that way, and I pushed him, and he tripped into that area, and I like pushed him up against the wall, and I would like smashed his head against the bricks. And I was like, give me back my Charizard! And he was like crying and screaming, and that was like the big fight. And he tried to push me back, and I just pushed him again. And teachers came to get us, and he had like some blood on him because I like pushed his head so hard against the fucking bricks. And nothing really happened. I didn't get my Charizard back, and I had to go to the office, to the principal's office, and apologize to him and give him a handshake. That was my punishment. So, but that's not the story I was going to tell. Yeah. Say sorry and become friends again. No, he has my Charizard, but okay, fine. Don't tell my mom. But the one I was going to say is, like, with my allowance, like, I remember walking, like, basically across town to the Wizard's Tower, which, if you guys remember where that is / was, it's kind of in a sketchy area of the town we grew up in.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I was, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there, not a teenager yet, and I would like take my allowance and say that I was going to go play with friends, and sometimes I would meet up with them, but often I would just walk down there by myself. And it was like a good 2 miles, probably closer to 2 than 1 from where I used to live.
Yeah.
And buy like a pack of cards or 2. And
I need the cards, man.
There for a little bit. Yeah.
You've had enough. No, I need them.
Like now, like I can't. Like parents would get fucking like arrested for like if their kids ran away and like walked 2 miles through a city in like a seedy part of town. Like the kids would be taken away from the parents. It's just so like funny to think about, like all the changes that have happened and the stuff that we used to do. And you know, the people before us, like the generation before us, like they grew up in the 80s with like early video games, had to go through even crazier stuff. It's just funny to think about.
Yep.
But Jordan, you said you had one more thing now that we're done reminiscing.
I get one more thing left of nostalgia. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not nostalgia. It's a different story
not
now, switching
related.
Gears. I would just like to point out, I saw it on Sony's Instagram is where I found out the information. Anthem, you know, that Xbox One X nice trailer thing that they showed at Xbox and Microsoft? Yeah, that's going to be coming over to the PS4 as well.
Oh.
So not an exclusive.
That's one less thing.
And you know what? They're smart. Because they realized they isolated about most of the people that are going to probably play that game. So
basically 100% of Japan just got excluded.
Yeah.
It's like the sales numbers for the Xbox in Japan are so abysmal.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an American
Europe's
console.
Not very good
or
either.
American / European console. Yeah, I mean Europe.
But even.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of a toss-up.
It's still
I'd
not
say.
as popular.
Yeah.
But definitely not in Japan or China or whatever.
And it's BioWare that's doing that, right?
Yes, I believe.
I think
so.
it's BioWare.
Yes, it is BioWare.
Sure.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, it is coming to I think I don't know if it was actually said. It might have already been said before, but if it wasn't, I had just seen it on Sony's.
It's news to you.
Sony's feed or whatever, saying, oh hey, in case you wanted to play Anthem, it's coming to PlayStation 4 as well. It's like, oh, all right, cool.
I wonder if it's going to be like a delayed release for that.
I don't know.
If it's BioWare, I feel like they've played they haven't really sided with either console. I mean, the BioWare games that I can think of that they've done, Dragon Age, Inquisition, they did, as far as it goes for like the current consoles, Mass Effect, Andromeda, they both came out with the exact same stuff on both platforms. Sorry, Nintendo's not. I don't believe that Anthem will be coming to a Nintendo platform.
That's okay. I don't care.
Probably not.
But actually, I actually remember reading a little article bringing us back to nostalgia.
Oh boy, I remember.
I'm sorry, not really nostalgia, but it's like recent nostalgia. Nintendo is looking at bringing more Wii U ports to the Switch, which
who wants that?
Fucking stop, please. But it's the reason they're doing it is because like no one bought the Wii U and they have like some decent games on it, so they're like, well, I guess we can
have
make
people
a port
try and
to the
buy them
Switch,
again,
and hopefully the people that didn't have a Wii U will buy them. Because they do have way more people buying Switches than Wii U's.
And they're gonna sell them at full Wii U price, though.
Of course,
because they'll be deluxe. They'll add a few things, and
they'll add a little bit, and that'll hopefully bring people who have the Switch that had the Wii U as well to have them buy them, and blah blah blah. But
maybe it'll be what do they call it? HD remastered for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I mean,
yeah, HD remastered from the Wii U, but it's but HD remastered for the.
Shut up. And
I was gonna say, like, I it's great. I knew this was coming, but they have to get them out of the way. Like, they have to get all their Wii U stuff out so that they can start doing new stuff. Because I'm interested now to see what's gonna come after all that stuff. I'm not gonna.
I want them to just make new stuff.
Right. I mean, exactly. Like, I bought Mario Kart because it's something that I know that we'll play. But
for sure.
Anything else that I can think of that's on the Wii U that I would buy again? I don't.
Oh, you kind of cut out a little there, Jesse.
Oh, good.
It's okay. I'm sure that his recording still picked it up. It's just we didn't hear anything he said.
It's if there's any other games that are coming out for that system, I can't really think of anything that I want to buy again and play it again. So.
Mario Party 10.
Yeah.
Just released Metroid Prime 3.5.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Yeah. I'm looking at my shelf of Wii U games, and
you have a shelf?
I don't want to play 3D World again. Like, I don't have any desire to.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't mind like a Mario Maker for the Switch, but I would rather them just make a sequel, like a new version.
Are they making a
now introducing the HD remake of Mario Maker. Switch.
Didn't they announce it that they're making a Mario Maker for the Switch?
Oh, I don't know. I know they made one for the 3DS.
Maybe I'm thinking of that.
Are they gonna make a 3D Mario Maker?
I doubt it.
That takes from either like Sunshine or Mario 64.
That would be a lot. You can use like the 3D models in a 2D setting, like a la New Super Mario Bros.
What was the other 3D? Well, I mean, I guess Galaxy. Wasn't there another one right after Sunshine? Was it Galaxy?
Galaxy was after Sunshine.
I feel like there's another one.
Galaxy 2.
That's right.
And then new Mario 3D World.
And then they did the 3D. It was called. Which, I mean, it was 3D, but it wasn't like how they I think Mario Odyssey will be the first one since
first real one,
Mario Galaxy 2. As far as it goes with like a single player Mario 3D world open. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Just to wrap things up, because I do have to piece out, basically rate it at 5, because I'm going to go look at a place to live in. Are there any games, sticking on nostalgia, are there any games from your past that have been kind of MIA from gaming for a while that you would like them to not necessarily remake or remaster, but reboot, a new a new game completely? I have one in my head. I know, Jordan, you were all up for Metroid and you got that, so
yeah.
Is there anything else?
I can't
Mine
really
would
think of
be
any other ones right now.
Mine would be Golden Sun. I forgot how much I liked Golden Sun, and then right before E3, I never even talked about it during E3 because there's just so much other stuff going on, but someone had leaked a supposed title screen for a Golden Sun game for the Switch, but I'm pretty certain that it was proven to be fake.
All fake. Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't, then oh my god, I'm gonna fucking explode. But I'm 99.999% sure that it was proven to be fake. It was just a really good
a really good
faking of it. Yeah. Well, because it was a title screen on the Switch, and there was noise coming out of the Switch, and there's no video player on the Switch yet, so people are wait, how did you actually get this on there? I mean, so whatever. So that's the one I was thinking of, because I actually just recently, and by recently I mean a couple years ago, I never played the DS Golden Sun game, so I played a bit of that, and it was good. I need to finish it. I haven't finished it yet, but the original two, Golden Sun and Golden Sun Dark Age or New Age or something like that, they were on the Game Boy Advance, and I loved them. They were really good RPGs that I would love to see a new one or a reboot or whatever.
I guess if I would like to see a reboot, it would be interesting if they put it out as part of the Sega Forever program, just because that was I never owned a Super Nintendo. My dad had a Nintendo, and then we had a Sega Genesis. And from the Sega Genesis, I would like to see a reboot of this game called Cyborg Justice. And
I've never even heard of that game.
I don't think a lot of people have, unless you played it. Which then you would have heard of it.
Justice.
Yeah. But it was really fun. It was a side scroller beat 'em up. So think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons arcade, those kind of things. The one thing that was cool about it away, you could build it looked more or less like you're a robot, but I guess you were a cyborg. Maybe you had organic parts inside. So you get to build your arms, your legs, and your body or your torso. And so with the arms, you got to choose different weapons. So you could choose to have a blaster, you could have a flamethrower, you could have a saw hand, you could have it was kind of stupid to have it, but you could have a detachable rocket fist, but if you fired it, it didn't come back.
Oh, jeez.
But one of the cool things with it, and you fought other cyborgs or other robots, and the cool thing with it was you could actually steal arms from the other robots and put it as your own.
Cool.
And if you stole their arms, you could then steal their body, and you basically ate it, and you gained health from it.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of cool.
That sounds pretty fun, actually.
And it was 2-player. It was co-op. So if your buddy had died, and they just had died, you actually could rebuild them right there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then they wouldn't actually lose a life. But yeah, no, it's kind of interesting. It was quite an old game. I think that the music for it probably I'll link one of the soundtracks for you. The music is probably what dragged me in, or dragged myself and my dad in. Very, I don't know, very techno kind of music, techno-y, whatever. But that would be cool if they brought that back. If they did that and like completely redone, you know, new graphics, new mechanics, whatever, blah blah blah, and if they wanted to, because I mean, when was the last side scroller beat 'em up that we had? Like that's been new. Like,
I feel like there was one, but I can't remember what it is.
I feel
like there was an indie one that was pretty popular, but I can't remember.
One Finger Death Punch.
I mean, I know.
I just played it today.
All right. Well, to wrap things up, Jesse, do you have any?
Sure. Pokemon Snap. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Enough said.
That'd be a fun one. Yeah. That'd be a good one for the Switch, too. Does it have cameras, though? The Switch doesn't have cameras, does it?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think you need it. You would need the gyroscope.
I don't know why I would need cameras, but it would be cool to have it like an AR kind of experience.
Yeah.
But cool. Pokemon Snap. Like I said, we have to wrap this up because I have to get going here in a minute. So thanks for watching, everyone. Tell us some of your nostalgic stories in the comments below. Give the video a like if you liked what we said about stuff. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.